Om Shanti. Greetings of peace, greetings of love to each and every one of you on this beautiful sunny day. I hope each of you have given yourself the treat and made the time like you are for your own benefit to join this session. However, to have enjoyed some of the sunshine and nature. It definitely brings up the energy and the spirit within the mind of either soul and the heart of either soul, and the body definitely benefits from it. So it's a win-win. And if not now, maybe later, where you can maybe see an amazing sunset. Okay, so we have a wonderful session this evening, 7 steps to become enlightened. So wherever you are on your spiritual journey, this is where you are choosing to step out of whatever box you may have found yourself in. I find on the spiritual journey, there are many different boxes that can trap me in old ways of thinking, of fear, of worry, of stress. However, we are on this beautiful adventure, rediscovering, reclaiming who I truly am, who I belong to, and what is my purpose for being in this body, in this culture, race, gender, all those external separations that separate human beings. What is my true purpose for showing up on planet Earth at this time? So powerful questions. I hope you have your notebook and colored pens if you have them handy, and particularly gold and silver gel pens are really helpful for deepening your spiritual practice and rediscovering, reclaiming who you truly are. For those who don't know me, my name is Masana De Souza. I'm one of the daily Karma Yogi students of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. And I have been on this particular path that resonates deeply with this heart and mind of this soul for over 17 years. And I'm also one of the teachers of meditation. So it's definitely my blessing, my privilege to be with each of you this evening. And I'm going to offer this in a different way. I got a touching when I'm going to be sharing something of the nature walk I had today and the adventure it took me on an inner and outer journey that I'd like you to imagine you when you are on your journey. What can stop, block, what can release. So please make a note, maybe in a different color. What stops you, what blocks you, what releases you. 3 powerful questions that each of us need when we're on this journey, inner spiritual journey. And so what I'm going to be doing is offering some points that I have created on PowerPoint, some affirmations. We will stop every now and then, like on any long journey, you need to stop at time and reflect and pause and take a cleansing breath and recalibrate. Are you going in the accurate direction? Or is that signpost upside down? Or is there no signpost? So lots of fun stories I'm going to share that you listening as a gentle, compassionate observer of self, i.e. I, the soul, observing the conscious mind, and when something might be triggered from the deeper space of the sanskaras, the subconscious mind, where all your memories are stored. If you have any questions, any observations, any insights at any time, please put them in the chat, and later Margaret will offer them to me and I will respond. Okay? So let's first take a moment and go within. Take a few deep cleansing breaths through the nose, out through the mouth. Allow the breath to start from the feet, up through the legs, the abdomen, the chest, to the top of the head. Hold it for a moment and then allow the breath to cascade down your back with a circular breath catching from your feet up again. Relaxing the body, staying alert, aware, and attentive. So your eyes are gently open, not staring, yet focused, alert, and aware. So this journey this evening is going to be in the form of a story, some key points for you to reflect on and make a note of in your journal as they come up, and some meditation during this reflective practice. Okay, so let's start. So first I'm going to share screen. Let's hope that the Wi-Fi is obedient and cooperative, a wonderful spiritual power. And remember, we're looking at 7 steps. There are many steps to enlightenment, and congratulations, each of you are already on the journey. However, this is an opportunity to become more consciously aware of where you are and where you're choosing to go. Remember, what blocks stops you and what releases are key questions. So let's see if we can increase this, and I'd like to go up to the top. Let's see if it will. Okay. So if you can take a screenshot, and if there's anybody that can type fast, maybe Manish or somebody else, Manish, you could ask to type the 1, 2, 3 in the black. You don't need to type in the purple ones. So first step, know you need to change first. So having that inner knowing is the first step. Because if I don't know or don't realize that there's a block, then I'm really in chaos and confusion. So first, I need to have that decision, which well done, all of you do, because you are present in this moment. 2, always be authentic and honest with yourself and others. Always be authentic and honest with yourself and others. 3, value every positive and elevated thought. Value every positive and elevated thought. So we're going on to step 4, and then I'm going to explain how this works. So again, if it could be screenshot Manish, and then you can type in the chat, or if you've asked somebody else to. 4, value yourself totally. Value yourself totally. So each of you be aware if that doesn't sit comfortably in you in this moment. Put a question mark, and maybe something will reveal itself of what you don't yet value of yourself. Yet also draw a big heart and put in that big heart what you do value of yourself. 5, be focused, enthusiastic, and refine your skills, your spiritual skills, your spiritual knowledge, your spiritual awareness. So we're focusing all on the inner. Okay, so let's go to step 6. Learn from the pure energy of love, peace, and wisdom. Learn from the pure energy of love, peace, and wisdom. These are all your spiritual, eternal qualities. There are many more. However, I'm focusing on these 3 at the moment. 7, consider yourself to be a powerful spiritual being with an intimate connection with God. So for you, whatever that highest, purest connection that you have of unconditional love, eternal peace, purity, happiness, joy, unlimited, all the spiritual powers, access to eternal wisdom, eternal truth. So whatever you call that exquisite, elevated connection, God, Shiva, Jah, whatever you have, Allah. Okay. So hopefully, Manish, you were able to capture those. And I'm now going to stop sharing for a moment. And I'm going to tell you a true story, each of you. And this is a story that took place this morning, up to early afternoon before I got ready to come and join you all. And so as you listen as a gentle, compassionate observer, first of self, and then of what you are hearing through the physical ears of this story that Masana is sharing, I'd like you to stay beyond, yes? So an observer, imagine yourself as a bird soaring up in the sky. You have a much bigger view of down below. So staying detached, loving, compassionate of self, and holding that sacred space to hear from the story I share what touches you from those 7 steps. Maybe highlight them if you hear anything in the story that relates. Okay, so let's go ahead. So this morning I decided, after meditation, after spiritual class, to have a swim. So I had a beautiful swim. And then I decided, because I'm up in Ripon, so up in the Dales, Yorkshire Dales, and it's very beautiful up here. And I decided to explore and go for a walk by the river across the fields and to actually discover Fountain Abbey, which is apparently one of those very famous landmarks, historical landmarks that the UN has recognized as well. Okay, I was told it was 3-4 miles away, and I figured I'll take my time, I'll get there. Okay, so Masana starts off, it's quite warm, getting hotter, brought her bottle of water, brought her fruits, and definitely brought my best friend, my companion, that for me is the divine, is God. And we intimately call God Baba. So my best friend, beyond. So set out on this inner walk as well as physically. And all was going well, and I met a lady. And I asked her if I was going in the right direction for where I was choosing as my destination today. And she very happily offered to guide me some of the way there and said, it's such a wonderful place. You're going to love it. And then she left me and I continued walking, following the instructions and walking across fields, by rivers, across and up a long road that was slightly steep, and then turning right at a farm through a little gate that was a public path going up the hill. Masana decided she needed to rest because she'd been walking for a couple of hours already, and saw a jogger coming down the hill and asked him if I was on the accurate path. Remember the word accurate. I was assured I was, however, there were some more hills and valleys to traverse. I continued walking, came to a woods where it was beautifully cool, and walked down the valley, went across a dry river, and came to a T-junction. Now, what do I do when there's a T-junction and I have forgotten, is it right or left to go? So pause, think, trust, go with the flow. I started up on the right and then discovered I probably was going in the wrong direction. Fortunately, 2 more human beings came by, redirected me to the left. Again, I walked and walked along a dry riverbed and felt, oh, this is really a long walk. Yet something within me said, you're beginning to resist. You're beginning to feel that maybe you won't reach where you need to in time. However, trust the process, go with the flow, and as long as you rest every now and then and refresh the body, refresh the mind, everything is okay. And so I continued to walk and I met another 2 human beings. And they said, oh, it's still a long way before you're going to reach the Fountains Abbey. So I paused, I reflected, I withdrew, and then I discerned that maybe it was not going to be enough time to continue this adventure and be able to return and be refreshed and ready for this afternoon's talk with yourselves. So I decided to retrace my steps. And for a while, I thought I was on the accurate path. However, when I re-emerged from the woods, I couldn't find the gate that I had come through an hour before. And the field looked different because there were cows in it, which hadn't been there before. So what do? I stopped, I paused, I reflected, I recalibrated. I became my inner best friend. Yes, you can. There will be a way out of this, even though I'm not sure where I am in the middle of a field with cows, and I haven't a clue which way to go. However, I paused. I stopped. Remember, my divine companion, I made sure was with me all along. God, my best friend. And then I looked to the left. So I looked outside of the box of I'm lost, and I realized that over a very tall fence, wire fence, there were some people sitting, having a conversation beside a ruined building, looked like a little chapel. So I asked them directions to get back to Ripon. And the lady very kindly with her dog met me round the other side of the fence and redirected me down a hill. She said, that path will take you down to the river. And I said, once I get to the river, I know how to find my way back. So I set off again after thanking them and walked through this beautiful field, green and lush, big old trees, gentle breeze refreshing me. Still had some water in the bottle. Went to the bottom of this field, and then there was a wooden gate, and I went through it. And I thought, my goodness, where is this taking me? However, trust the process, go with the flow, surrender, let go. God will guide me. So using my inner wisdom, I stepped through this big wooden gate and discovered I was in the deer park that adjoined the Fountain Abbey. And yet the instructions I'd been given earlier on seemed like it should be in another place. Lo and behold, I walked a little further and I came across a waterfall, and there was another path, and it opened out to a lake. And on the other side of the lake, there was a cafe, which is exactly what I needed to refresh myself, as I was quite tired and hungry after nearly 4 hours of walking in the hot sun. How did that story end? Again, I was able to refresh myself after a queue in a cafe where someone very kindly offered to hold the space so I could sit in the shade and revive myself. Again, I kept saying, something else will come through, something else will happen that will guide me on this path. And then I met a National Trust volunteer who drove me for 10, 15 minutes to where the bus stop is, because I knew I didn't have the energy or the time to walk all those miles back to where I was staying. And without going any further on that story, to suffice to say that I was taken to where I could have some refreshments, waited in the cool shade of a tree until the bus came. And the bus driver, when driving the bus back to Ripon, I discovered and recognized that he was going to pass right past where I am staying. Can you believe that? And so he stopped right outside the door where I am staying, and I got back here with lots of time to refresh and be ready. So I'd like to stop for a moment and let's pause for a moment before we continue. And I'm going to put back up on the screen the first steps. And in these moments of reflection, I'm going to ask Manish Bhai to play some music. And make a note of any of those steps that you feel relate to the story and yourself. So music for a moment. Manish Bhai, are you able to play some music for us? Otherwise, we'll enjoy the silence. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so apparently, and that makes sense. I could have played some music too. However, silence is beautiful, and you may be able to hear. I don't know if it's a blue bottle. A fly is buzzing around, seeking a way out. The doors are open, the windows are. So maybe you heard that beautiful buzz as it's finding its way out. So I'm going to go back now to the steps. And I'm going to bring the affirmation. So hopefully you've had some time by listening to the story of Masana's adventure. Where can some of that relate to you on your journey? For I've given a practical example of how I've been using some of the spiritual qualities, virtues, powers, and the spiritual knowledge. Okay, so let's go back to share screen. Someone said that step 7 is very useful. And let's go back to step 1. Let's see if I can make it bigger. And what you will notice is that what I have typed in black, 1, no, you need to change first. And then what I've put, hopefully you can read it. Manish Bhai, please let me know if you can read the purple ones, because these are the affirmations that I came up with. So no, you need to change first. And then an affirmation to help me is I have the spiritual tools to change. I have the spiritual tools to change. So this is an affirmation, so you can either put it right under that first step, or you can make a list beside it, so parallel. So on the left, you've got the tools, the steps, and then on the right, you have the affirmation. So however you would like to play with it. And so this is a recognition of how many spiritual tools you have acquired on the spiritual journey. And so after the session, I invite you to make a list of all these tools, the spirit awareness of your spiritual qualities, spiritual values, spiritual virtues, spiritual powers, and the spiritual knowledge. For if you've chosen to take the Raja Yoga meditation course, if you've chosen to come to any of these talks before, you already are acquiring, assimilating, absorbing, experimenting. The key is to keep experimenting and keep bringing newness into your life. Okay, so let's go to step 2. I'm wondering why. Now it's working great. 2, always be authentic and honest with yourself and others. So again, some homework later. What does it mean for you to be authentic with yourself and with others in your communication? And the affirmation I am suggesting that can help you is I choose to be real and genuine. I choose to be real and genuine. And maybe these could be put in the chat as well, with the list of these affirmations that you can use many times. So Manish, if you could type those 2 in. And the rest I'm going to now mention. Thank you. So 3, the step, value every positive and elevated thought. So you, the soul, has a conscious mind, and the function of the conscious mind is to create positive and elevated thoughts, feelings that will then create a powerful, positive, elevated intention. So as you meditate, that is what you are focusing on. A positive, elevated thought that will trigger a positive, elevated feeling or emotion. E for energy, in motion. And then the intention that you can use throughout the day, every day, as you power up, connecting with the unlimited ocean of peace, spiritual powers, wisdom, truth, eternal, love. So the mind also can create negativity, negative thoughts, negative feelings of fear, stress, anxiety, and therefore a negative intention that creates a negative self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm no good. I'll never succeed. Everybody's better than me. All of these are false negative beliefs. So instead, the affirmation, I choose not to waste a second on negativity. Or you could change that into, I choose to create positive and elevated thoughts. Okay. So this is an ongoing process, moment by moment, check and change. And I will find it's easier when I am bringing meditation into a daily practice. First thing in the morning, last thing in the evening. And remember, you can listen to guided meditations too that can support the mind to have more spiritual nourishment and sustenance. The discipline, though, is up to you. And as you power up with the divine, your discipline also will strengthen. The intellect will power up, which is another faculty of either soul. So let's go to step 4. Value yourself totally. So at the beginning, I suggested check where maybe there's a margin of, well, I value some of myself, but not all of myself. So it's helpful afterwards to make a list of what do you value about yourself and what is missing? Where is the gap? If you travel on the underground at all in London, you will at times hear the announcement, mind the gap, or you'll fall down that rabbit hole, that dark hole. So I need to be aware of what is missing. And I'm not referring to material things or other people. I'm referring to where in myself I don't feel in total inner harmony, inner joy, inner peace, inner contentment. So affirmation that you could use, I am valuable. I am valuable. For your divine companion, God, Baba, sees you as a tiny sparkling star or a diamond beneath whatever is holding me back, where the fears are, the stress, the old temporary negative beliefs. I'm a shining star. I'm a valuable diamond full of all these spiritual qualities, virtues, powers. So reminding myself of this will help to strengthen my inner resolve to take that next step through the fear. Remember, as I was moving along and wasn't quite sure where I was walking to, and everything looked a bit confusing at one point, I needed to remind myself, I am okay. This is going to work out in the best way possible. And it did. So I was there connecting with my supreme companion. Okay, step 5. Be focused, enthusiastic, and refine your skills. So again, Manish, if you can be adding these affirmations. And so the affirmation here for being focused, enthusiastic, and refine your skills. I am transforming and healing. I am transforming and healing. So in this, I'm referring to I am transforming and healing physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, holistically, on every level. So what does that mean for you to become the one that heals yourself from inside out, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Have a look at the other steps and you'll see how they connect. So 6, learn from the pure energy of love, peace, and wisdom. Learn from the pure energy of love, peace, and wisdom. So these are all eternal spiritual qualities that the divine has unlimited access to and shares to us when we choose to remember and connect with the divine, the supreme soul. And the affirmation I'm choosing to help me to reconnect, remember who I truly am. Look at the words remember. It's reconnecting. I am love, peace, and wisdom. I am love, peace, and wisdom. And there's a beautiful song that Lucinda Drayton, another Karma yogi from the Brahma Kumaris, has written on love, peace, and wisdom. And Manish, if we have time at the end, it would be lovely to play that song, Love, Peace, and Wisdom, and the one where it is of a little tree by in her hands. So it's the more accurate video if you have access to it. No worries if it's too late to suggest that. 7th step to enlightenment. Consider yourself to be a powerful spiritual being with an intimate connection with God. Remember, use whatever word. Do not allow words to get in the way of this higher, pure vibration, higher consciousness. Is it the ocean of love, the ocean of peace, or Supreme Soul, or Baba, or Allah, or Jah? What for you invokes that powerful connection beyond the physical world of sound and movement and space, where you can connect and re-energize and re-power up. So to consider yourself to be a powerful spiritual being, that means you, the soul, eternal, within this temporary physical body that I call a temporary sacred temple for I, the soul, to be able to use the senses, the body, to communicate with others. So to be a powerful spiritual being with an intimate connection with God. So that's something worthwhile reflecting, meditating, churning on. What does that mean? And the word intimate, play with it, into me. So connecting more deeply with myself, and then self-realizations with dialogue with the divine. So an affirmation, a suggestion, I am a powerful soul full of love and compassion. I am a powerful soul full of love and compassion. So hopefully you have made a note of all of those affirmations. And I'm going to stop sharing screen now. And I'd like you to choose one of those affirmations. And I'm going to ask Manish to play some music. And to choose whichever one resonates most with you in this moment. And play with it in your mind. Maybe draw a picture that evokes that particular affirmation. Maybe it's a flower, a heart, a diamond, a flying bird, an angel, a star. Something simple that invokes this affirmation that you in this moment are choosing to play with. And so let's take a few minutes and music will play and really begin to feel this affirmation flowing through your consciousness. I'm a peaceful soul, so gently bring your awareness back to the present moment. Check how you're feeling in this moment. You can add that to the big heart that I invited you to draw on your page earlier of the feeling. Make sure you've highlighted that particular affirmation. Any shift, any awareness, anything you're now letting go of or gaining a self-realization, please put in the chat so that Margaret can share with us. And whilst you are doing that, so if you can put in the chat which affirmation you used and the difference it made, or if you've got a question, it's now time for Q&A, as well as any self-realizations as we've been on this journey together. And I really appreciate the quote that was on the flyer. Love where you are as much as where you are going. So you never miss a moment of the journey. And I do hope that that's what came through in that little true story I shared with you. It's really staying in that present moment awareness and using it as we are together right now, staying in the present. That's where the power is. That's where healing and transformation can take place. Past is past. The future is still to unfold. So I'd like to, Sister Margaret, if there's any observations, any questions, if you'd like to share them. Thank you.
Masana, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we haven't got anything in. Oh, wait a minute. I am a powerful soul, full of love, peace, and compassion. Added peace to this.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So it's a powerful affirmation. And what I would like to hear is, was there anything that touched or moved or inspired anyone when you heard the story I shared, and how it applies to those 7 steps of enlightenment, or where you have used any of those steps already and how they are assisting you on your inner journey?
I think people are reflecting actually before typing anything, because really you've given so much. One has come through, loved hearing about your journey and how aware you were, an inspiration. Thank you. Om Shanti. And then another one was guides. Just the word guides.
Okay. Thank you for that feedback. However, in this moment, I'm really interested to see what touched you, what reawoken in you, or where you can apply some of those aspects of the story I shared, which are symbolic for the spiritual journey. So I'm really holding the sacred space for where you got an aha moment for yourself personally. Take it personally now, use it, and share that, or ask a question. Was there something else in the chat, Sister Margaret?
For me personally, what was coming up was the third one, value every possible and elevated thought, and I choose not to waste a second on negativity. And hearing your story, I was thinking, my goodness, doing Zoom on an evening, and you had the courage, and that really was what came up, the courage to go ahead and do this, and then to be able to share it with us, which is wonderful. There's something else come up now. Yes, also headed to a retreat, missed the lift halfway, but determined to get there. No buses that day. One happened to going in other direction, but stopped to take me to door of retreat. Reminder to trust.
Wonderful, wonderful, well done. Trust, I suggest, is one of the scarcest commodities in human minds stuck in the body consciousness of the Iron Age, where the fear is, which I suggest is the greatest virus affecting humanity at this time, greater than any biological virus. So yes, when I can trust my own inner wisdom and trust the connection that I am choosing to deepen with the divine supreme power, then I have more trust as I navigate, I, the soul, in this body on planet Earth to my destination of healing, complete transformation, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Well done. I think there's another one has come in.
Yeah, there's a couple that's coming. How to deal with the intense feeling of disappointment in self. I made the same mistake again and again when facing conflict at work. I should have known better. So that's one. And then another one, keeping your destination on focus.
So let's take one at a time. The word should, I suggest, delete from vocabulary, and also the should, could, would, if only, just, but. They're all words that can block. Remember that words have energy. Words emanate from the thoughts that I, the soul, creates in the conscious mind. If they're negative words, if they're either in the past or the future, and that's up for each of you to explore which ones I've mentioned are either the past or the future. And the word I use is I choose. It's very much in the present, in the now. If it's I should, then it's like, oh, I realize I'm repeating the same mistake time and time again. Each of us can get trapped in that old cycle, negative, self-fulfilling cycle. It's a pattern of behavior. That's a trap. And yet when I gain that self-realization, going back to step one, knowing myself, then I can choose to change the thoughts, feelings, intention, and choose to learn from the mistake and choose by going within, discerning possible consequences if I choose a different way of responding rather than reacting, or being ready to speak authentically. That's another step, and speak my truth. When I'm calm, peaceful, and I assess that the other is in their calm, peaceful space. So there are lots of steps that are in preparation when facing conflict, and most of them are inner steps. So what was the second one you read out, Sister Margaret?
Keeping your destination on focus. And then
Love
another
it.
one, how to come of fear.
Is that a question or an
I'm
observation?
not sure. I think it could be an observation, how to come of fear. It's just how it's written.
I'll remind, because of our time, the acronym, and maybe that could be put in the chat, and acronym for fear, F under it, E, these are all capital letters, F, E, under the E, the A, under the A, the R. False evidence appearing real, which is virtual reality. Practically everything that I am in fear of is false, is virtual reality. It's trapping me back in old, negative, temporary self-beliefs, old stories, old prejudices, old judgments. So this is what I'm now learning how to rise above them and power up with the divine pure powers that will open up the intellect, conscious mind, and heal the heart of either soul where the feelings, emotions emanate. So yes, it's an ongoing journey. Any others before I offer a guided meditation to close?
just really love to hear your story. Wonderfully inspiring. Thank you. And just false evidence appearing real is fear. And that's all there is in the chat box.
Okay.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So lots for everyone to play with, experiment with, and create more. Experiment with those different steps. The more you use the affirmations, the more you use the steps, weave them into your practice, then you will see the results. And please keep on making a note of them in your journal. Use colored pens to create pictures, draw pictures. And remember, if it comes to your mind, the inner critic saying, I can't draw, just give yourself a hug and say, oh, yes, I can. It's for you personally. And you can also find pictures in magazines and cut them out to create inspiring collages. Lots of ideas. Keep being creative. It helps me take the lid off the box where I found myself trapped in old fears, old beliefs. This is about liberation now, self-liberation, and then liberating myself to show up as a sparkling star that others can also be inspired. I think there was one more comment, and then I'm going to offer the meditation.
Yes, thank you very much. Om Shanti Machenda. And so beautiful.
So I'm going to offer a meditation now, and I'd like you all to sit comfortably yet alert in the body. Take again a few deep cleansing breaths, breathing in peace, breathing out peacelessness, breathe in compassion, breathe out tension. Connect with your true light, your true energy, life force, tiny point of light in the center of the forehead. And I become the actor and the observer. I am an actor in this drama. All other souls are actors too, each acting through its own individual body costume, each acting out a unique role. I see that my role is unfolding before me. I see that my role that has passed is recorded within me in the form of impressions or memories. Now I feel a sense of detachment, so I can play my role with full responsibility, the ability to respond. Small scenes in the drama that would previously have caused me pain now no longer worry me. I continue to adopt the stage of the observer, gentle, compassionate, detached observer. This feeling of detachment brings me the power of tolerance and patience and humility. I, the soul who is becoming filled with knowledge, cannot allow myself to be pulled by the world of sense, the five senses attractions any longer. I feel more inner peace and wisdom wisdom flowing within me. Love, peace, and wisdom guide me from inside out to continue this special journey of rediscovering, reclaiming who I truly am, who I belong to, the divine, beyond sound, space, and movement. I am a soul. I am eternal. I fill with peace and power from the divine and return to the consciousness of the body to continue my steps of enlightenment, healing, and transformation. Om Shanti. I'm a peaceful soul. Gently come back to the awareness of the present moment. Thank you so much for all of your attention, participation, and I hand over to Sister Margaret.